The reason why everything's turning to shit is because it's easier for criminals to steal than to make. Yeah, it's easier to take than to make. That's really the whole thing in a nutshell. And it explains everything that's going on right now. It explains politicians, it explains mass migration, it explains the psyop, the guilt, the shame, the insult of the indigenous people. It explains everything that's going on forever, like 80 years. In my case, in Germany, but it's the same in every Western country. There's only hypocrisy. There's strategic racism implemented to guilt an entire society. Or you're guilty of this, you're guilty of that, and now you have to give us money. You're guilty of exploitation, guilty of slavery, guilty of racism, and that's why you need to give us money. And it's never enough. And it used to be donations to Africa. Remember, like in the 80s, we Are the World with Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones, like huge amounts of money were donated to Africa. Now that's not enough. So people from Africa, they invade the country with incentives. They say, no, we don't give you the money. You just come here and, take the infrastructure, the housing. Again, it's easier to take than to make. And this is going to self-destruction in ways that are just incredible. Like, it just took 10 years to destroy Europe, and it's never going to stop until everything is destroyed. So Europe is going to look like Africa in probably 50 years. There's just, everything's going to be destroyed. There's no economy, no nothing. You probably can't even grow food because the soil is poisoned. It's toxic, with the windmills and all that shit. It's already destroying farmland. The windmills, they destroy the farmland because there's residue, toxic residue, that is falling off these petals. And it's just plastic, I don't know, pesticides, heavy metals, chemtrails. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. I can talk for weeks. And the environment is getting poisoned, people are getting poisoned, and people getting robbed of their resources. They're getting their money taken, taxes, everything. They're taking everything. More taxes, higher taxes, taxes here, taxes there, and it's never stopping. And then they give the money away to, I don't know, stupid wars in the Ukraine that are already lost. Senseless, meaningless stuff that is completely unnecessary and is just destroying everything. And it's all based on guilt. Guilt, guilt, guilt. It's a guilt society. You manipulate people with guilt. It's exploitation of empathy. It's suicidal exploitation of empathy. High trust societies have empathy for people who have less. But hey, you're too stupid to realize they're coming to take your stuff and then you have less. I mean, you're getting replaced by the numbers. You're getting outborn, outbreeded, like you're getting breeded into extinction. And you think you need to be guilty, you're just retarded. And then there's, the shame, the guilt, and then the fear society. And this is turning into a fear society because, more and more people with knives running around and stabbing people like there's no tomorrow because, well, there's no tomorrow. And they don't care. They don't have any guilt. They stab you and don't even have a guilty conscience because their religious belief is backing them up. Like this, you have the right to stab people because they don't believe in the God that you believe in. You see, you don't understand what's going on. You entirely failed to understand what's going on. It's very easy if you look at history. In Morocco, the same thing happened. They fought out the French and the Spanish people. So French and Spaniards they got kicked out. And 70 years later, Morocco is like a third world country and they demand a refugee status. You see, they kicked high trust society members out. Now they ruined their country because they're incompetent. They can't make. And now their country is falling apart, so they want to take. It's always easier to take than make. You see, and it's the same in Africa, it's the same fucking everywhere. And the West is too stupid to learn, and that's why you're gonna lose everything. And it's pointless to reason with these people because they're so spoiled brats, so far out of touch with reality, what's going on. They get all of their stuff taken because they don't even understand the politicians lie to them. And the politicians, they don't care. They get a cut. They get compensated by making a deal, you know. But when the country is ruined, when society is collapsing, and the politicians, they just disappear with the money. There's no responsibility. There's no accountability. Nobody ever went to trial for anything, no matter how big the lies, right? You still have Ursula von der Leyen. She's still running the EU, robbing everyone blind, giving all the money to the Ukraine or like everywhere. Um, and she's getting away with anything and everything, right? So the system is set up to rob the Western countries blind. There's nothing gonna be left. It's the same in the US. It's the same in Europe. It's getting wiped out. It's getting wiped out. It's getting completely replaced. And it's so easy to do because these morons, they still work on this guilt trip. Yeah, it's so easy to guilt them. Guilt, shame, 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 and then fear, right? Fear, fear, fear. That's the end stage when you have too many gang rapes and too many knife stabbings, and then you have a fear society. But that's also doable because now you're at the final stage where the replacement is already finished. You start with the guilt, and then you have the shame, and then you have the fear, and then it's over. And then this is all happening in history over and over and over again. Yeah, like in Persia, now the Persians they got they took refugees in Muslim refugees, and now the Persians, they got wiped out. 100 years later, it's Iran. Is you don't understand. You think you do, you're not. You think you're smart, you got it figured out. You don't. You're retarded, you're stupid, you don't educate yourself, you can't think. That's the biggest problem. You can never think. And that's why you never figure out anything. And this is why you're losing everything, because you just cannot think. You can't even identify a liar. And well, then you just go extinct. you just disappear. You're getting wiped out. You lose the war. You lose your possessions, and then you lose your life. And this is happening and happened in history, and it will happen again to you. And the ancestors, your ancestors, you're right? That's your father, that's your grandfather, that's your grandfather, who fought and died in wars for you, for the country you live in. You benefit from the resources, the infrastructure, the freedoms you have because your family ancestors died, and they died for nothing because now you are just too dumb to realize that other civilizations and countries and their people take your stuff and your country and your resources and your infrastructure and your freedom and your life away. I'm MINIMAN. Trying.